Hey, welcome to the Ink Pulp Podcast. This new rendition of the podcast is called Tool Talk, and we're going to talk today with Matteo Scalera about the tools he uses. What's up, brother?
Yo, what up, brother?
Not much. You were saying you put out your Mr. Freeze pages, and they're going quick. That's good to know.
Yeah. A lot of people were interested in it, and I've been, posting some preview, and people were pumped, and we sold a good chunk of them,
That's great.
and hopefully by maybe the end of the year we'll sell.
They'll be
we'll sell all
gone.
the
It's
issues.
gorgeous. I remember it in
Thanks, man.
Seattle when we were looking at the pages outside the hotel. We were all just kind of speechless because you're a motherfucker. All right, I'm going to hit the intro and then we'll get into this.
Awesome.
This is the Ink Pulp Podcast. All right, we're back. All right, so Matteo, what's on the desk today? What tools are we using?
All right, so I got plenty of stuff because I use a lot of things, and so I'm gonna start from my left side,
Okay.
which is, I would say, the least important stuff, but still the stuff that I use a lot.
Okie doke.
And the let's call it the least noble stuff, because it's all pens and all that.
So these are inking tools you're talking about.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, we're talking about mainly inking tools,
All right.
and the
right.
least noble stuff.
All right, so what do we got?
So I got liners mainly.
What is it? What are you tattooing?
So this is the main things that I use for lines. So I'm gonna explain what I use them for.
Okay, cool.
Basically, I got here the Statler Pinker liner.
Yeah.
No, pigment liner. Yeah. So these are mainly for lines. I mainly use the 4 sizes. I don't use. I mean, they go from a 0.05 to 0.8.
Right.
I always use some of them in between. So one of the ones that I use the most is the 0.05 for really subtle line. It's really cool. And sometimes if I don't feel like using a nib, which of course the nib is always the best, but this one has an advantage, which is that whatever kind of gesture you want to do, you can do it, whilst
You're talking. You can move in any direction you want.
Yeah,
It won't snap.
you can go any direction you want.
Right.
So it's you can go be really instinctual with it.
Right. So
wow.
you said nib is the better choice. Why is that?
I mean, it's I think the best thing is it offers you a variety in the line thickness.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, the lines are sharper. There's something there's something really beautiful about the line of a nice nib.
Yeah, I agree. You're blowing my mind. I didn't know you used any sort of line tools. I thought you were just using brush for everything.
I used to, depend on the project. Like Black Science is like 99.9% brush.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the stuff you'll see in Black Science is really organic.
Mm-hmm.
And even the environments and the words that the story takes place, and they're mainly organic, alien planets, and instinctually I created a lot of environments that were really really easy to work on with a brush.
Okay.
So they're mainly curved lines, not a lot of straight lines and stuff.
Okay.
And but after that, I had to work on, for example, I don't know, like Harley, the Harley Quinn book, the Freezer book, the Mr. Freeze book.
Mm-hmm.
Those required more, straight lines, a lot of buildings and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So those are the Statlers, but you also use microns. Is that what you were showing me?
I also have the Pigma Graphic.
Oh,
The
okay.
difference is that they're bigger and the point is chiseled. I don't know if you can
Yes.
see it. I'm gonna put it on my really white face.
That works.
And so yeah, this ones I use them for the panel gutters,
The border.
and also I mean they're not sharp as a chisel nib,
Mm-hmm.
but still they can offer you, used in a certain way, they can offer you the same effect. So if I want to create that effect on a layout, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I'll use this and to do that. And also they can offer you a nice effect when they start running out of ink. They can give you, I'm gonna show it to you here. They can give you a nice effect. I don't know if we can see it on this guy's pants.
Okay. Okay.
They fade away a little bit
Uh-huh.
as you go with the line, and
Like a
it's
dry brush.
they provide this dry brush effect, but it's way more controlled, of course, because it's a rigid instrument. You don't have the
Right.
brush that can go sometimes, unless you don't control it
Like I do.
like you do. Yeah. Well, you actually, I'm being honest here, but yeah, you have a lot of control on the gesture. I don't have the same kind of control. So this one guarantees me to do that. That's why on the this is the page that I'm the actual cover that I'm working on now.
Is that Spawn?
Yeah, they're doing the
Oh, Spawn Batman?
Spawn variants.
Yeah.
Spawn is everywhere now. Like even Image that it just announced
Oh.
that they have older books. They're doing a Spawn variant.
Okay.
Even for Nightclub, which is another Millar book that is coming out soon.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's
It's basically superheroes meet vampires. So they have their own, Spawn variant, and I still use it here on the guy's pants. You can see it here, and that's this tool. Like I always have a couple that are almost gone.
Okay.
And I use fresh ones for gutters, when I need, a straight bold line.
Sure. Okay.
So these are them. Yeah, these are the liners that I use. And sorry, I forgot to say, with a pigment liner, I use 0.05, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.8, which is the max.
Is there a reason you use the Statler ones over the microns?
No. These were the ones that they have in the shops here mainly.
Okay.
So this is what I buy.
Because I found that the Statler ones have a stronger tip than the microns. So like the microns can give you a little more flexibility and organicness, but those Statler ones are very, very firm.
I have some of the other ones, but I usually use this once because I got a bunch. Like once I find something that I know that I'm gonna use, I just buy hundreds of them. So I never run out of them. So when it comes to the last 20, 30, I buy another 100.
All right, cool.
You call it a hoarder?
Yeah, you're an art hoarder. But I mean, you move so fast and you do so much work, it makes sense.
Yeah, and once you have your tools, it makes sense. But to always have them with you and never run out of them. But I think I have the same attitude for everything, because back then when I used to play video games, like even in video games, I used to stack all the stuff, all the coins, and I didn't want to spend any of them
in the game. In the gameplay.
What?
In the gameplay?
Yeah. I would literally finish a game and I was like, fuck, I didn't get to use my coins on everything. So Yeah, I was
It
always
is.
afraid of running out of resources. So I kept that attitude with my
All
work.
right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got there?
So this is mainly the left part. I mean, I don't know if you want to see my pencils, but I mean,
Yeah. Dude,
okay,
you'd be surprised how many every day of my life I get a comment asking about the
yeah,
pencils I use.
okay. So this is my pencil. I don't know if it's a how do you call it?
A
It's
lead
not.
holder,
Yeah, okay. And I use
clutch
a.
grip, right?
Sorry.
It's got that clutch grip where it like opens up and holds the
Yeah,
lead. Yeah.
with the clutch grip. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I use an HB. Uh,
HB. Okay. Do you have a preference on the brand of graphite you put in there?
I use the Statler.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And who makes the pencil, the lead holder?
Faber Castell. I don't know if
Okay.
you have it.
Yeah, we do. Are you loyal to that specific type of lead holder or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. This is the one that I bought years and years and years ago, and I still use this one. That's it.
Okay, cool.
I've been using this one for forever.
All right, cool.
And I never even tried, other ones.
Mhm.
I just like this one. And
All right. If it works, it works.
yeah, yeah. Whatever do I have? Well, I mean, we're pretty much done with the left side. I mean, we have
Okay.
the rulers and stuff, but I don't know if it's interesting. But
Yeah. Dude, people ask about all this stuff.
I mean, I have two really standard rulers.
Okay.
I always keep one plastic transparent one
Mhm.
because I noticed that if you can see, what's underneath, it's always better. Otherwise, when you use this ones and you cannot see underneath, it's always like, am I doing the right thing? Was this the
Right.
right line? Every time you gotta verify. It's
Right.
really uncertain.
That's a good point.
So I use this one as a base when I have to do parallel.
Oh, is that one metal?
Yeah, this one's metal.
Okay.
So I use this one when I find, a line that I like and I gotta repeat it. I just
Right.
put this one on the side
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
and I'll do this.
That's a good idea. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I learned that at a art school. It's
Oh, okay.
back then, like architects used to do that to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome.
You don't see me doing it because it shows I just bring one. I just bring
Right.
one.
Right.
But, yeah, that's what I do here in my studio where all my tools. Then I have this one for circles and stuff. I don't know how you call this.
Template.
Yeah, okay, template. And but still, I gotta find the right way to use the nib with this because the nib doesn't work with this one.
Right.
Like it gets all, I don't know if I curse, but fucked up. Like,
Yeah. You can curse.
Okay.
Like what Sean does is he lifts the paper off the table and you can move the nib around freely, like if the
Oh
paper.
yeah, no, I didn't mean that. No, because this one on one side has small like
Right.
things that keep it, not
Right.
touching the paper, but it's the actual gesture. When you do this, like unless you are able to keep your hand perfectly and the
I got
knee
you.
perfectly straight, it goes underneath.
Yes.
So when you finish, the circle is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, I just don't think nibs are made for that.
Yeah. Usually, I try to do it with liners. Maybe I'll use the 0.05 because you can go really light, so it becomes kind of gray, not exactly black.
Right.
Black circle.
Right.
And then I have this ones here.
French curves.
Okay, yeah, French curves to do curves in general.
Cool.
But it really depends. Sometimes I get lazy and I just do go freehand. Depends.
Right.
I don't always use this ones.
I mean, honestly, I hardly ever use any rulers or anything just because I'm lazy. It's just easier to just keep moving.
Yeah. Unless I really need it, like for a car, and there's a car with a lot of details, and I need the car to be the protagonist on the specific panel. I need every lines to be spot on. I'll use it. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll do it myself.
Okay. Okay, dokie.
Okay, so and then we go to the right side, which is the as I was saying, the
The
most
sup-
noble part.
right, the supreme tools.
Yeah. So here I got my my ink. This one is simply like Speedball.
Oh,
Super.
there's speedball in there. Okay.
Yeah. And but I use this amazing bottle, which one guy at a show, he just wanted me to try an ink. I think it was Kuretake,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it came with this bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So the ink, I didn't like it at all, so I emptied it out. But I loved the bottle, so I kept using this one like forever.
All this time, I thought you were using Kuretake ink because I kept seeing that bottle.
No. That's
Oh,
it's Speedball. I keep pouring it. And a few years ago, before COVID, I went to Tokyo
yes.
for a show, and we went to an art supply store. And I saw this bottle. It wasn't even ink. It was like silver paint or something.
Huh.
So I bought like 3 or 4 because after a while traveling,
Sure.
and old ink gets stuck in the entrance of the bottle. I don't know to
Uh-huh.
call it. So after a few years, you gotta change it. So I bought again my hoarder mentality. I
I'm the same way, man. I'm the
yeah,
same way.
5 or 6 of them. So
All
until
right, nice. Nice.
I should be good.
All right, cool, cool.
So this is the ink they use, and then
Let me ask you real quick. The speedball ink you use, is it the speedball super black?
yeah, Speedo Super Black. Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's not the thickest, it's not the blackest of the inks,
Right.
but it's pretty liquid, which means it lasts longer on the brush, so I don't have to constantly dip it in ink.
Right. It's pretty thin. It's pretty
Yeah,
thin.
yeah, and yeah, and being it so liquid, so thin, it doesn't stays. It doesn't. How do you
Thick.
say?
It doesn't get thick.
Yeah, sticky on the brush, so the brush
Yeah. My
like
shit gets like
you know.
tar.
And then I had this thing that I made myself here. So
Oh,
it's a base, it's a solid base, and I glued over it like 3 small plastic cups.
are those like sauce cups?
Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool.
they're soft cups.
And so are those are 3 different values of ink wash?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, the way I work is when I use gray tones, of course, in covers and sometimes for interior pages. Basically, I want to. My range is 5 shades. So I have the white, which is the paper.
Mhm.
So then I have a really light gray. Then I have a 50-50 gray, I would say.
Mhm.
And a dark gray, and then black.
Okay.
So these 3 are the 3 grays in between white and black.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
And yeah, so it makes, especially when you have to do watercolor inks dry really really fast on the page, so you got to be really quick.
Right.
So having them already done, especially when I have to fill up big spaces with the same gray, I need to constantly dip my brush, and I need to be fast.
Right.
If I didn't have this once, I would have every time to dip my brush in black and then dip it in the water and find it by instinct
Right.
every time, and it's never gonna be the same. I mean, with time, I learn how much I have to keep the brush in the water in order to attain a specific gray, but it's
Mhm.
never gonna be the same gray. So you'll have
Right.
you'll have variation
Right.
of gray on the page. So that's why these ones are so useful. I started using them when I had to work on the Harley book, and since then they never left my table.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then I have all the white out stuff and stuff like that. So I have this, and this one. Let me camera.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the white acrylic. This
Uh-huh.
one's my favorite, which is the Holbein super opaque Aeroflash.
Right, right.
It's acrylic, but it's really thin, so it's not it's not thick, but
Right.
it's pretty. It covers pretty well.
Okay.
Not super opaque,
Okay.
but enough. It's especially if you have a black base, it's really nice.
And you apply that with a brush?
I apply this with a brush, yeah.
Okay.
Then I have this one, which is more or less the same thing. I just bought
Right.
it, try it, and it's pretty good.
Golden.
Yeah, golden. It's still liquid acrylic. I call them.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah.
And then I have the Liquitex soft body acrylic, which is an in between this two and the actual like thick acrylic paint.
Okay. Okay. I know
So
what you mean.
you don't need to water it down. So
Okay.
it's, if you need if you messed up and you wanna
Right. So the other two are like white ink in their consistency.
yeah, basically white ink. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
this one is more. It's closer to an acrylic. It's not fully
Right.
it's super thick, but it's and it's when I need to cover mistakes, big splatters or shit,
Mm-hmm.
I use this one.
Okay.
Because this one it will take like 3 or 4 times
Right.
going over it,
Right.
And then this one that I started using it when I started working on the Mr. Freeze book, which
Mm-hmm.
is Frisket,
Oh, okay. Frisket.
the Schminke.
Yeah, Schminke's good stuff. So that creates a resist. So
Yeah.
you ink on top of it, then you remove the frisket and the white of the paper comes through.
Yeah, it's a liquid mask.
Right.
When it's dry, it create a film, and you can go over it with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remove it. I remove it with a finger. I don't know if it's
That's what I do. Some people use they're an eraser, but they're like tan and they're kind of crumbly. They're
Mhm.
not, I forget what they're called, but some people use that. But yeah, I use my hand. Hand
Yeah.
works great. Yeah.
And this one is really cool. I mean, it could obtain the same effect after just using an acrylic,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, this one I love it. Also, if you do inks first and then you gotta redraw some, I mean, you go over the pencils. So if you had a nice I don't know, like a lightning or some special effects, this one allows you to do it first
Right.
and then go over it.
Right. Right.
And yeah, this one is really useful. The only thing that I notice is that most of the time I use it again if somebody has to there's a character like Mr. Freeze was shooting with his gun, and then I had small lightning around the beam.
Mm-hmm.
I still needed how do you call it, like the motion lines? No,
Yeah. Speed lines.
speed lines around.
Mm-hmm.
So this one would allow me to do it, because you need a really nice gesture, and you can go over the frisket. Otherwise, you will like to stop every time. It's hard to explain in words. It would be easier with a page, but
Sure. I get it.
it's really useful in those situations when I
Okay.
need a really quick gesture, but I have to stop. With this one, I don't have to think about stopping.
I understand what
The
you're saying.
only thing is that when I do this gesture, there's a high chance that with my hand I take off some of the frisket. So I gotta
Right.
be careful when I do
Okay.
gestures. And this one is the last tool that I use.
Mm-hmm.
Super useful as well. This is the Uni Posca. It's still acrylic, white acrylic, but it's a pen, and I modify it with. Now they do a version with this point, but back then when I started using it,
Right.
round point. So I bought other Uni Posca products that at that point, and I just replaced it and put
Right.
it. And this is amazing. It's an amazing tool. And
And you use that for your white splatter.
I use it for splatters, or if I have to do like rain effects, so I need really straight lines,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to use the brush. Uh,
Mhm.
this one gives you a nice effect for that, kind of stuff.
All
And
right.
it's also for if you had to do a show, it's easier to carry around
Sure.
instead
Sure.
of bringing all the
Right. I got you.
the paint bottles and stuff. So okay. And last but not least, brushes and nibs. So brushes. This is my main tool, which is a Raphael 8404. It's a Kolinsky sable brush,
Mm-hmm.
not to be confused with just the sable brush.
Right.
Kolinsky sable is a Siberian sable, and apparently their hair are amazing. They,
Right.
they keep the point perfect. They're just amazing.
And
Uh,
what size do you use?
this one is a one.
Okay.
It's my favorite one. I also use sometimes a Winsor and Newton, but I gotta use the two because they're in general the brush
Right.
is smaller.
Right. Right.
And here I also have a number 3 and a number 4, which I
Mm-hmm.
use, for bigger things. If I have to, if I had to work big in
Sure.
general.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
And I also have what do we have here? I have this fucked up brush. I'm not going
Okay.
to tell you the brand. It just I like the fact that it was fucked up.
And what do you do with that?
I can do like really dirty lines, especially for borders. If you don't want to have a neat black against white effect,
Mm-hmm.
this one will give you that dirty effect, almost dry brush basically.
Right. Right.
And then I have the nibs. What do we have here? Let me check. Oh, I also have two really big brushes. So chisel point and round point for
Okay.
really big areas when I have to cover really big areas.
Okay.
Nice. They're synthetic, but I like them. It's an Italian brand.
And so is that just for filling in blacks, or do you do textural work with that too?
No, just for filling blacks, or no, I do textural work when I have to work on really really big, shapes and stuff.
Okay.
These are nice. Like if it's a huge, huge shot of a big hat on a page, just a splash page with a hat, I would use this one.
Okay. Okay.
And what do we have here? All right, we'll put this down. Then we have the nibs. Nibs. I mainly use the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Nibs. This one's amazing.
Yeah.
I mounted it on its holder. Is that how it's called? Holder?
Yeah. Holder. Yeah. And so
And
that is a what they call a Maru nib or a mapping pen
yeah,
in there. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this is perfect for fine lines.
Right.
And
Now, do you use pressure to get variation in your line, or do you try to keep it consistent?
sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes. I do. But I started using this especially for the Harley Quinn book
Mm-hmm.
because I needed to do. I needed really fine lines, but they had to be gray. They had to have shade of grays.
Right.
And the liners are amazing, but you just got
Right.
one.
So you'd use your ink washes with that nib?
Yeah, I use the ink wash on this one as well.
Got it.
And then this one is still another. The brand is still the leader.
Mm-hmm.
They are a little bigger, and they're
Mhm.
bronze. The color is bronze. They're not. You can't get fine line the same type of line.
Mm-hmm.
This one is for a little bigger lines, but it keeps way more ink. So if I need
Okay.
bolder lines, this one's perfect. And one thing that I started doing is I started mounting them, if you can tell,
On a brush?
on a brush holder. Yeah.
I
just
see that.
when a brush is gone, I just cut the hair and I mount, the knee point.
Do you have to glue it on, or just friction?
No,
hold
it just goes because the holder is a little bit wider.
Mhm.
You just push it down, and it just
That's interesting.
yeah. I don't know if you can look closer.
Yeah.
It opens up a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
but it stays, so it's
That's
perfect.
awesome.
And because I've been working with the brush for so long,
Mm-hmm.
it's a better way to hold it for me.
I agree.
I think I don't know, you did a podcast with Sean Murphy. I think he still uses the really small, like thin holder for
Yeah, he uses that speedball brown one, that tiny
Uh-huh.
little, yeah.
So yeah, and now I want to try the use the chisel nibs, the ones that you have.
Yeah, the
I-
lettering nibs.
I had to buy them, but I really really want to try those for some.
I gotta mail you some. That's what I gotta do. I can get some here and mail them to you.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Anything else, or is that's the those are the tools?
I think that's it. If you want to say this one, it's a nice one. I got a stamp. I don't know if you can read it here.
No, what's it say?
It says title, issue, page.
Oh, okay. You just stamp it on your
Oh,
page.
yeah, I stamped the page
Oh,
and
nice. Oh, that's a good idea.
title and all that stuff.
That's
It's
a good idea.
nice little addition from 2022. This year I started doing that. It makes it more, I don't know, professional.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's great. Okay, Fratello. So thank you for your tool talk with me.
No problem, man.
One day soon, I'll be able to film a instruction lesson with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You come here and visit the studio. I'll show you the studio.
Yeah,
It's
we'll do all that.
almost done, with 95% done. So by
Nice.
the time you come here, we probably done. And yeah, we'll have some fun.
All right, cool, great. All right, so I'm gonna run the outro real quick, and then I'll hit stop recording. So thanks for doing this. Thank
No
you all
problem.
for watching.
Thank you.
This is the Ink Pulp Podcast. This is the Ink Pulp Podcast. Comics, hip hop, life.